OT, baby! I didn't do it all hour. It was so much fun. Welcome to Outnumbered Overtime, and we're continuing our conversation on the couch. So, yes, Olive Garden would like for you to become their new spokesperson.
Done. Roger, can I do that? Will they pay me a lot of good big bucks?
By Roger, she means Mr. Ailes.
Yes. Mr. Ailes, may I do that?
Okay. So
I would if I could.
Quick question, because this is all a Twitter, if you can, our live chat, which sits in the box right next to the one that you're watching us in right now. This Ray Rice thing, a lot of people hadn't seen that video. Yeah. Guy, you had some thoughts about perhaps the history with this couple, and not knowing thoughts, but just kind of a feeling while you watched it.
Intuition. We were talking about this off the air, and we sort of referenced it a little bit on the show, but watching his reaction, or basically, more accurately, his non-reaction, that is someone who is poised, who is not shocked to see his fiancée lying unconscious. And so that was one indication that maybe this was not a first-time or one-time event. The other one being the fact that she then came out and apologized for her role in it. As you said, Harris, sometimes women who are serially abused, repeatedly abused, they get into a mentality where they're starting to apologize for things that they have no business ever doing. The one other point I wanted to make from a football fan's perspective, and so Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, in reactive mode, put out this new policy, a 6-game ban the first time this happens, and then a lifetime ban afterwards. And everyone said, great, that's more like it. If you actually look at the policy, it is filled with loopholes. Your lifetime ban, you would assume that means you can't be in the NFL anymore. Not so. You can reapply for reinstatement a year later. Wow. So it's just they're saying lifetime ban to make people assume that it's something that it is not.
Right.
And since that new policy has been put in place, there have been 2 domestic abuse incidents
Andrea talked about that
in the NFL.
Well, this was before Ray Rice. These are actual past incidents on the Ravens team, and they were, again, slapped on the wrist, much like Ray Rice was. And
these are new ones,
Yeah, these are new ones, right, in addition to those other ones.
So let's see if they're going to live up to this.
This is a organization-wide problem. It is a team-wide problem. Some teams have more problems than others. But I did see during the commercial break someone said to all of us, they clipped us on the tweet.
Is this on Twitter?
Odd. I didn't hear any of you saying that Ray Rice's fiancée should be in jail, because I said that Ray Rice should be in jail.
Well, why should she be in jail?
Technically, she was actually acting in self-defense. I mean, we now have it confirmed by the video that he hit her first. But why should she be in jail is my question.
So if you watch it from the beginning, which is something that Ainsley had challenged all of us to do, and you're absolutely right, they are arguing outside that elevator. And she kind of takes a swipe at his arm. Is that what that person is meaning? Because it's so different for her to do that. And I don't mean this in like a gender sense, but a capacity sense. Right. He takes a swipe at you. It's like a giant taking a swipe at an ant.
If you also watch the way she did it in the context of it,
was
almost like he said something silly and she went, oh, stop.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And then he knocks her out. But I'll tell you, watching this as a female, and I'm a tiny girl, what I wanted to do was empower women. This makes me want to tell women, you never know what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in. So to stress the importance of self-defense, that never excuses behavior, but it does make you more prepared. This made me want to go work out, go get in the boxing ring, do whatever I can, so that if somebody comes at me, I'm going to be able to do whatever I can to try to protect myself. Because it's a scary thing, I think, for a woman to watch this and know that any one of us at any time could be in a vulnerable situation. We are, I mean, if you look at us, we're small. You know, we have to sort of,
I think, Ainsley, you had one of the best points during the commercial break.
We were talking about so many different things about the bruising and all that. I couldn't believe that she got married to him after this, to be honest with you.
Isn't that the scariest part of this?
4 weeks after this. And it looked like, we don't know, I don't want to accuse anyone, but she's apologizing. Maybe it's happened before. I mean, he's doing it once. Once is all you need. Yeah. But then we talked about the bruising, and I mean, she's definitely going to be bruised from falling on that handle and then dragging her. It takes like 3 weeks for a bruise to go away. So right up until her wedding, she is still dealing with the aftermath of this, and it's and mentally forever. It's I just can't believe she married him. And my thoughts are with her, and I hope that if they don't work out, I don't know. I just hope that he either gets treatment. I hope that if they don't work out,
to make it better.
Yeah.
Eric 1080 writes, and this speaks to the issue of what we were talking about. Why does this guy still have a job? You gave us some really interesting details, Guy. The fact that there's so many loopholes in this new policy. Why even have it?
Yeah.
Well, no, there's an answer to that question, which is there was an outcry from people in the media, and this show was covering it. So they have to do something. It is going to be a very interesting state of affairs to see how the NFL treats these two new cases. And then the other thing for Ray Rice himself, I know we're seeing a lot of comments from him, very apologetic, and I'm fine with that. But to be actually fully repentant for something, that involves taking responsibility and owning the consequences of what you've done, and something that is commensurate to what you've done, which 2 games very clearly is not.
He's sorry because he got caught.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yes. He wasn't sorry after
I don't know.
And I'm not one again to constantly say the White House should be weighing in on different issues, because I actually don't think this is any of their business. However, this White House weighs in on everything, especially when it has to do with sports. Gay athlete comes out of the closet, the president speaks out on it. Concussions, president speaks out on this. The one issue, domestic violence, that we saw this White House make a big deal, the war on women, is front and center in front of the president. He has an opportunity to weigh in, as well as females in Congress. And again, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who invents make-believe beatings like we saw her do last week. I'd like to see her speak out.
This is what people are saying on Twitter. They can't believe that he's allowed to get away with this because he's a role model to our children and to other men and women across the country. He shldn't be allowed to get away with this.
Well,
we're sending the wrong message.
I have a friend who's sorry to interrupt. I was going to say he's a big Ravens fan. So he's a fan of this team, and he texted me this morning. He said, the Ravens have to cut Ray Rice. He said, not only is it the moral thing to do, he said, and I hadn't really thought about this, when the 2-game suspension is over, he is back in uniform. Can you imagine the outrage that he's going to face with fans? It is going to be
They were cheering him, though, at training camp.
Yeah, but
they hadn't seen this video.
Opposing fans are going to boo him.
What did they see?
I think this video is a game changer for him.
But what did they see?
No
we
pun
saw him
intended
dragging her out. Dragging her out
it's
unconscious.
Awful. It's
so
awful.
For me, that was all I needed to see. I mean, this video is bad, but...
And I agree with you.
And they
but,
were still cheering him.
There was just a visceral reaction when you see him attack her. There was something in the mind, I think, that can let you, well, maybe she fainted, I don't know. But when you see how it actually happened,
ambiguity, right?
You can't erase it. Hey, AMJ writes on Twitter here, what's even worse? And she hashtags Ray McDonald. I'm not sure what that is.
That's the 49ers player.
Oh, the 49er. Okay.
Who is now under scrutiny for a similar situation.
And domestic violence is that it happened in a casino with cameras everywhere. You want to talk about how could he even think he wasn't going to be seen?
He wasn't thinking.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking or wasn't worried about serious consequence and was expecting that he would get exactly what he did.
Why was only part of that video, the part that wasn't as bad, why was that released? Right. And this other, what happened inside the elevator wasn't.
Well, it makes you wonder. I mean, the Revel Casino is now belly up, but I believe that's where it happened. But you wonder, too, what was going on behind the scenes with the pressure not to release that video in totality. But we always knew it existed. We always knew it existed. We always knew that police had the entire video. And I just thought, well, what could possibly lead up to that moment where she's dragged out on the floor? It's not like he just tapped her on the shoulder. He had to clock her, and now we see that's exactly what happened.
If you're a woman and you're in this situation, get out. Get out.
You know, I always wonder, though, and we'll move on after this because I see the live chat has some different topics. I always wonder what kind of support those women have, though. You know, I mean, because you look at her from the outside, you might think she has everything. She's marrying an NFL star. And then for the world to suddenly see the reality, I mean, talk about a ripping to shreds of the thread of her life. You know,
she's probably thinking, though, I'm going to leave this NFL star. I have Ray Rice.
Yeah,
that's a pretty. I mean,
I don't know what their history is. But honestly,
what else could she be thinking?
I didn't look up to see what their relationship history is. We obviously can't judge, but my goodness, they both need help.
Yeah,
they both need help. Hey, you know what? I'm curious. You made a reference to our shoes, apparently, on air?
I did, briefly.
What was going on there?
I was talking about Cosmopolitan magazine, and I said, aren't women reading Cosmo to see awesome shoes and not be lectured to about politics?
But you said our shoes in general.
I did. I said your shoes were great.
You know, from this left side of the couch, and Andrea, those are gorgeous.
Those are some pretty shoes, ladies.
I had mine shine.
A guy who knows our shoes, you get an extra gold sticker.
Well, you guys were talking about them pre-show, so I was taking.
And I like the jeans. I like the jeans,
listen.
guy.
Thank
Andy,
you.
listen.
Rocking the jeans with the tie.
So you learn shoes and pasta bowls are the way to get to
Right.
Exactly.
And you used the word blush. Did you notice that? Anyone notice that? You used the verb blush when you were describing something in the Cosmo magazine. I thought, oh, did you pick up that
I
word
said it
after
first
reading
blush.
Cosmo?
Actually, that was a complete accident. I should take credit. Yes, I was being very clever and witty, in fact. I planned that.
Fluor powder is a very good color by MAC if you're interested.
Oh, and thanks to everybody for joining the live chat. Phony Scandal thank you for the compliment. We love doing the show. I'm sure that's not your real name. Guy, good to have you today. Really fun.
It was
we'll see you
great
for the
being here.
TV version of Outnumbered tomorrow, noon Eastern, right back where we always are. And then right after that, OT, baby. See ya.
Bye.